Get Heavy Podcast, hosted by Craig Casamas and John Scheimer.
I don't think it'll ever be the same, you know, and it fucking probably shouldn't be. What's up, dude? Damn.
I'm from the future. This is what your Christmas will look like in some way, shape, or form.
Nice, dude.
This is COVID 2024.
Right.
This is COVID 2020. This is 3 days away from you, or whatever date this is 5 days away for you guys.
You're the ghost of Christmas future?
Of COVID.
I'm the ghost of Christmas future.
What's up, brother? What are you doing?
Yeah. Sorry to jump in right here in the middle. But
No, you're all good.
I'm at what is our Christmas this year? We're doing Christmas early.
Are you really wearing a mask in your house?
So so my son has requested because it's like my parents and my grandma, who's his great grandma, and he's the one that's like, we need to wear masks to protect our great grandma, and we're like, hey, we get it, you know what I mean? Cool. Like, if that's what you want, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't want him to think that his opinion doesn't matter.
Right.
Cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a simple request. It's going to be, we think the in-laws are going to have a problem with it because they're kind of Trumpers.
Yeah.
And this is actually kind of like why he wants to do it.
Just to kind of twist the knife a little bit on him?
No, it's not to twist the knife. He doesn't trust them. But I'm like, and they're not here yet, but I'm like, but we have to wear them the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, we can't just put them on when they show up.
Right.
You know,
it would be funny though if he did.
Yeah.
If they show up, you're all zip.
Yeah. So there it is.
Anyway, we were just doing some small chit chat, man. You know what I mean?
Anyways, no, I'm not gonna wear the mask the whole thing though.
Hey, if you want to be safe, I'm actually, dude. I took a COVID test on Wednesday. I still haven't got my results, man. They've been lagging on the results. So
we took some on Thursday. Me and Candace took some.
Yeah, I'm getting tested every 2 weeks just because I got family that's high risk, and I can't escape being around my mom and all these other fucking people.
Yeah, exactly.
My niece is 5 years old. She's got type 1 diabetes, so every time she gets sick, she goes to the hospital anyway. So it's like, fuck, man. I just don't. So we one person from every household is getting tested for Christmas, so we can all make sure it's all decent. We'll see. Supposedly.
Crazy. Anyways, how's it going, Dale?
I'm doing all right. I'm staying pretty isolated. Every COVID-wise stuff, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Have you guys gotten sick or anything? You think you had it, or a lot of us think we already had it, but
Corinne felt sick in December.
Right.
So we don't know. But since that time, I haven't gotten sick on anything and haven't felt it.
Yeah.
I think the weekend when everyone was told to go home, or like the March 21st or whatever.
Yeah.
There were some moments when I started like feeling really paranoid, like,
yeah.
Like, do I feel something in my chest?
Yeah.
Does my throat hurt? Mm-hmm. But then I would think about it, and then I would think about other stuff, and it would go away. So I was like, okay, no.
Yeah, that paranoia really got me for a minute, dude. Every time I had a twinge, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking die, And I'm not a panicky guy at all, but the first couple months was like, man, that felt weird. Every time you had something, you just thought you were going to get it,
Yeah. And there's still places like I don't go places, or like I don't need to go down there. Like, I guess it's cautious, I guess.
It's crazy. It's crazy how like how like, I don't know if the word is easy in a way, or how much you don't really even miss certain things about life and society that we had to deal with on a daily thing,
Yeah. Well, we've kind of like, there's like, because of the having to wait in line for stuff or whatever, there's some things that have gotten like things you would normally put up with that like I don't want to do anymore. Like some stores we just don't want to go to, or like
right.
Too many people, or like
Yeah.
I don't know. You're like, for some reason, you feel like that's a place where everyone who has COVID would go. Or
Walmart. You mean Walmart? Any Walmart?
Yeah, or like you see people like we had to go to a Smart and Final once, and you see more than one person with their nose hanging out of their mask.
Right.
Come on, no.
Yep.
It's
it
like
happens.
You don't. It's like, dude, for those people who don't believe that it's real, like, or they think it's not a big deal, wearing the mask is the easiest thing you could do. And like, why they won't do that? Why they make that the big deal? Like, if you would have just worn a mask, maybe it wouldn't be as bad now.
Well, we talk about it all the time on here. It's like, because it's the most oppression white people have ever felt. It's being asked to wear a mask. You're like,
yeah.
Well, you're like, okay, fuck, I guess,
I feel like it's like there's something empowering standing up or speaking against something that you think is wrong.
Right.
But if you don't have anything that's really wrong with your life, I guess you got to make it up.
Right.
We drive up and down Victoria on a weekly basis, and Sundays there's this small group of, it looks like senior citizens, but they all gather around like at the corner and they bring those Trump flags. It's like there's people, not a lot, maybe like a half dozen people in Ventura who are still riding hard for this. Trump got the election stolen. Yeah. And they're there. It's like they wish they had a righteous cause, and they're just like role playing, I guess. I don't know.
Well, with Trump, they do have a righteous cause. You know what I mean? It's like
I think like the standard white American just likes to complain. It's just American culture to have something to complain about.
Right.
To have something to like need to speak to the manager. Like, you know what I mean? Like the customer is always right. The customer is always right mentality.
Right.
So fucking American.
Yeah.
That just like, you know what I mean? Like, well, I'm just unhappy. And it's like people have to bend over backwards just to make people happy because they're entitled to, you know what I mean? They feel that they are owed this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just American. I mean, I call that American culture.
It is. I did want to ask, obviously when you talk about like standing up for what you believe in and stuff, like, I mean, I've always loved your artwork and stuff, but going through your Instagram over the times, like the Bernie stuff was like pretty fire that you were throwing out there, dude. So like, how do you feel about how, obviously I'm sure you're just glad that Trump's not in office, but like the Bernie thing, you were going hard for, man, and you did some pretty fucking awesome artwork for it. You know what I mean? So what was your involvement with that? And then how did you feel like when he had to fucking basically get iced again by the DNC and step down,
Well, I didn't vote for Trump twice, so that's how I feel about Trump.
Yeah, well, yeah, I could assume that,
the Bernie thing, like, I think with everyone, not everyone, but like within the people we know,
right?
I feel comfortable to say everyone. Everyone was legitimately stoked that about the image of Obama in 2008. Mm-hmm. You're like, whoa, shit, this is actually really cool. I like what this guy's saying, and he's actually saying things I wish someone would have said like 10 years ago or 8 years ago or whatever. I feel he's been, when you look back on that dude in history, there's a lot of awesome things. I think the idea of him being president is still awesome, but not really the most awesome person, and what he's done.
Well, every president is kind of a shitbag, no matter who you are, right? I mean, you kind of have to be a fucking shitbag.
Like there's a lot of things that he revealed in the way he talks. Like he compared himself to an 80s Republican at one point.
Yeah.
Or saying some 80s Republicans would have been to the right of him. So basically like a lot of stuff he could have done. He could have done more, whatever. I kind of felt like Bernie is more the real deal. And I was really stoked on that. Mm-hmm. I was really, supportive of him the first time, and he was done wrong the first time. And I wish he would have, I understand all the reasons why you want to run through the Democratic Party. It's too hard to set up a third party right now, or was, especially then, and the urgency of things could happen quicker or faster if just the right elements align perfectly. Mm-hmm. But So, I wish he would have ran an independent this last time, but I get why he didn't. And I was like all for it. It's like, well, if this is a chance for something to happen, I mean, I don't know it's not like I have a constituency or I have it's not like I'm related to someone in any sort of positions of power. I can't really influence people. But I was like, well, what can I do? It's like, well, I can raise money for this guy. So I just use, sell shirts, stickers, and always would make things or post comments. I tried to be during those Bernie primary times. I tried to be constructively critical, but more optimistic or positive about him, and trying to come up with just trying to encourage people who are like on the fence or whatnot. Maybe I just need to generate content so I can keep people engaged in buying shirts, but also just sharing what I think about him and the issues that he brings up and kind of the things that he stands in contrast to with Democrats and then obviously Republicans. I obviously I think this year again, he was done wrong again. And it's really frustrating. We've been put in a bad situation.
Yeah.
Where you have bad choices. Like which bad choice do you want?
Right. Yeah. Lesser of two evils again,
Yeah. In a lot of ways, and I've kind of taken a breather from putting myself out there to create content or to say much right now. I don't really think Joe Biden can be pushed. He reveals himself. He's basically a Republican as well.
Oh yeah, at least a neoliberalist, neoliberal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been reading this book. I don't know. I just says Thomas Frank Listen Liberal. This dude does a really truth-telling expose on both the Clinton presidency and Obama. It's all based in fact. It's not like a rant of some sort of dude that's delusional. It's really interesting. We're in a rough situation here right now, and we have been for a while. And I feel like some of the things that everyone's dealing with now, a lot of communities have been dealing with forever. It's like America's kind of being ghettoized, So, and someday everyone's gonna, people, there are some white people that have stuff to complain about, it's not the Trump people, but some people who did vote for Trump. You imagine living in a small town and you had a factory job in a union, and then in the 90s it got sent to China or whatever, and then you don't got a job and no one in the government cares about you and everyone thinks you're stupid. And
right.
Trump channeled some real hate. It's like if Bernie would have went more classist then instead of kind of woke identity, he could have maybe gotten some Trump voters and maybe things would have been different. But
so when you you mentioned Bernie, you wish Bernie would have gone independent, but obviously it's pretty impossible to go independent, and start up a new party and actually be represented. I feel, you know what I mean? It's such a two-party system that's so deep, and there's so many. There's 350 million people in America.
Yeah.
There's so many people, and so many of them are not can't focus outside of their narrow vision. So with that being said, even if Bernie did get the Democratic nomination, do you think that he would have had a chance, looking at how the Trump just tried to call Biden socialist and all that stuff? And if they would, and the thing is the people that were on the fence, there was people that would probably been on the fence that went for Biden that never would have gone for Sanders. And I'm a Sanders supporter.
Right.
You know what I mean? I believe in Bernie and all that stuff, but I have a hard time believing that the rest of the country is really like that and really comfortable with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think they are and they aren't. I think there's two things. I honestly think, and I think our parents are probably we're all within like a 10-year age bracket of each other. And so our parents probably are too. So I'd say our parents are boomers. Our boomers, and then our people of our grandparents' age. Man, the mind game job that education and the way society runs in America really did a good one on people with the word socialism, like the Red Scare, all that anti-communist, anti-Russia, Rocky IV type crap, and Red Dawn. People really bought that, and they're so phobic of it, and
I don't even think they know they don't have any understanding of what it is other than the word.
Right, but that's the thing. That word is so powerful, but people love their social security. People love a lot of the things that are social. I mean, people love the military, they love the police, the fire departments. I mean,
they love roads, they love streetlights,
totally.
They love stops.
They love it all. And so I think really there were some, like, after the election, this election, I don't know if you guys saw this, depending on who you listen to or what media you take in. And there was some polls that Fox News gave going around that, like, even with Republicans, Medicare for All is majoritively popular. There are a lot of things that sound very woke lib, like how the right Fox News would call it, that a lot of your average mainstream people, even if they're conservative or, cautious people or old fashioned, that they like.
Yeah.
I mean, FDR was a popular president. They had to put term limits on him because he would have been president for like 4 terms if he didn't die.
Yeah. I've always thought that America is pretty fucking center. Like, in like the wide grasp of it, you put a fucking most of the people center, and then you fucking go either side. You know what I mean? Yeah. Left and right. It gets fringier on either side the more you go. But people generally just want government to fucking operate and just leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think is really frustrating. Like, right now, everyone has to be super engaged and concerned on a daily basis with, like, it's like you have to, like, check in every day to make sure that your elected officials doing what they said they were going to do. Like,
I mean, yeah. For the last however long, the last few years, every morning is checking Twitter. Right. Like, and not even just checking Twitter, just checking Donald Trump's Twitter account, just to see what the fuck we've gotten into this morning. You know what I mean? Just like, oh God, what kind of a morning is it going to be? You know what I mean? Like,
well, even stuff like, different times through the past few years, there's been times when there was like a vote going to the floor of, say, the California state or in Congress or whatever. And you have your representatives who are, well, they're a Democrat. Well, they should go a certain way. But that you feel like you have to call their office. And I've done it. Prior to the last, like, since 2016, I had never called an elected official for anything. Right. I never asked anyone, nothing.
Right.
But then you feel like, I don't know if I'm just getting older and becoming more aware, or I think things are getting worse, and not to be dour, but like, you feel like, God, you really have to do this. And like, even if I don't change things, I just need to know that I tried and I put my mark there. So that way, when the shit falls apart, I can say, dude, I really did try. Right. But, and this is you doing all this stuff and people trying to hold their officials accountable and try to make the right decision of, like, which one of these people is going to let me down the least?
Yeah.
If they get elected, you have to go through that decision that, like, this is all while people are trying to be like, I lost my job last month, I need a new job, or like, I'm having a hard time with this and I need to focus on that, but I'm also stressed about these politicians. Yeah. It would be nice if they just worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. It's wild that your decision making is solely based, not you, but all of us, is like, which one of these guys is gonna fuck me the least? You know what I mean? Like, and with every time you vote, you just go, well, he doesn't seem like she doesn't seem like a total animal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's weird, but like when it comes to your art and stuff, I mean, it's obviously it's been wildly political for the most part, right? So when you're creating art, is it always with purpose, or are you allow yourself to just create shit to create shit? I mean, I know you do graphic design for work, right? So, and what do you do? It's what type of graphic design is it? Is it
so there are a couple things there. I think that for the most part, at a certain point, in the past, since I've been on Instagram, it's probably like 5 or 6 years or something like that. I got to a point where I was really creating with purpose. Like I knew I wanted to make something, and it was whatever. I have an idea, but a lot of it was kind of with the idea of like, well, I'm selling shirts, or I'm having fun doing this thing right now, or I want to work with these people. I like this band. I want to do something for them, or I thought about this. I thought that this take on this political situation would be funny, and I'm having fun being a political cartoonist right now, and I make stuff like that. It's been a while since I've just really sat back and just made stuff without knowing that it needs to go somewhere or do something like that in a really long time.
Yeah.
I've had a few periods, like there was a few years ago, like I've done a couple of series of paintings. Like when I say paintings, I mean like 9x12 drawing, painting with paint and ink pens type stuff. Did some of that stuff, a couple series. And I had a friend who was doing these affordable art shows, and it was just like, just make a bunch of work. So those were times when I was doing stuff just because I felt like it, even though I had the motivation of like, well, they're going to have a show on this day. So you told them you'd give them 6 things. So you got to do 6 things now. So, but as far as what it was about, that was up to me. But as far as being totally free, that whole like, I am being creative and I'm going to express myself, or I'm going to explore art, I haven't really done that much in the past few years. A lot of times it's been like, I think I was telling you prior to this, but really like, I've been back in Ventura for probably 4 or 5 years, and it's taken me a long time to be able to feel comfortable being here with it. It took me a while to get the job that I have right now. And now that, and that was when I got that job, that was figuring I would commute an hour. Now I get to work from home, so it's extra nice, but I finally got a job that was a reasonable commute from Ventura where I could feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So I was already getting the idea that I was going to want to get back into that. As the way things were going towards the end of this election cycle and stuff, people are just getting really heated about everything. And like I said, no one wants Trump to be president that I know of, but there's just some people on there who I really shouldn't have been so gung-ho for Biden as they were, like being irrational and shit. And I just, like, I need to take a break from social media.
Yeah.
So I'm taking a break from it, and I'm looking to get back into just making art and whatnot, just because I want to. And I always come up with concepts and stuff, but I can't really say what I'm going to be doing next, but I'll be doing something.
Yeah.
And allowing myself to take time off and not put myself underneath the lens of like, oh, show everyone what you got, engage with social media. It's there when I need it. And it's not like, oh, I hate this or hate talking, I don't want to see people. It's just, you just need a break sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
You need a break from the just coming at you everywhere,
Yeah.
It's like having like 8 TVs on. You just like,
Yeah, exactly.
turn them all off and just put a record on.
Yeah. I just got back from a healthy break from Facebook. And my whole point of the break was just like, because I'd be out and about somewhere doing something or just laying in bed, and all of a sudden I'd think about somebody's post. You know what I mean? I'm like, God, fuck my life, dude. Like, why am I thinking about this fucking post that fucking Craig put up? And you know what I mean? Just like, it's just too much. Like, I believe our brains have conformed and changed to this just taking action all the time. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't know what to do when you can just like taking a break is just it's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I even like we've been talking about politics, but even like with the amount of engagement I've been having with political commentary and bringing up the fact that this is happening, bringing up the fact that that is happening. At some point, I'm like, man, I'm really bringing up it's not negative stuff. It's just honest, real stuff. But I'm like, all I'm doing is just reminding people how fucked up everything is. and I'm getting more mad at the people that are kind of justifying why I shouldn't be mad at it. And like, I thought like, if I believe in a bigger cause, I might be doing more harm right now. I'm going to just take a break.
Yeah.
And
smart. Some people don't even have the foresight to think about that shit. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you know, I don't know how other people see themselves, where if I'm like, okay, I need to take a break from this. This isn't really even good for me.
Right. You know what it did? It did. I was looking at your stuff the other day, and your George Carlin piece, dude, and it just made me think, God damn it, that guy. I miss that guy right now. You know what I mean? Like he would have some killer shit to say right now, probably.
Yeah, he would be so mad right now.
I know. I know. But you know, he always had such a cool like perspective, especially for being like an old shit, you know what I mean? Like he was like, he always had such a cool perspective on shit, you know, and it was angry most of the time, but you know, he really wasn't fucking wrong, you know, and he would have been going in on some motherfuckers right now.
Well, there are some people who are carrying his torch today, like Jimmy Dore and Lee Camp. Both, I think, are in his zone. And definitely Jimmy Dore is known for stirring up a lot of shit.
Right.
He currently is right now trying to get the progressives or the squad to take a floor vote on Medicare for all right now to challenge Nancy Pelosi. And he's getting crap for that. I think anytime someone stands up and says stuff like that, it's sometimes stuff that needs to be said, but they're still going to get hated on.
Yeah, for sure.
But as far as being just funny and actually not being so agitative, I don't know. Do you guys listen to Judah Friedlander ever?
That's the dude that wears the trucker hats, right?
Yeah, he was
on The Rock or whatever.
He was Frank on 30 Rock.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's really funny. It's all a little more subtle and sly with his jokes, but he's definitely just as commentary driven with the politics.
Yeah. I just, you know, I saw the piece. I was like, oh my God, I miss that guy, dude.
He's funny.
I miss that fucking guy, you know?
Yeah, he was kind of coming around doing little small stand-up bits in LA right before COVID hit, and I wish I would have went.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, that dude got to fucking die doing exactly what he wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like in a fucking hotel room on tour. You know what I mean? Like, and it's how he claimed he wanted to go anyway. You know what I mean? So you're like, fuck, good for you, man. I mean, for so few people, you know, and I try to keep this perspective all the time. You know, and I've said it 1,000 times, but so few people really get to follow their passion. You know what I mean? And you know, especially with you with the art. I mean, you've done art as long as I've known. You've been able to change it and turn it into something that's, you know, at least a profitable thing for yourself in one way or another. You know, and so very few people get to do that shit. You know, and he was a really cool, like, I mean, just all those guys. Anyone that's been able to follow their passion and somehow monetize it and not like sacrifice their belief system and all that shit to do it, you know, it's always respectable, man.
Well, you know, like doing all this stuff, I mean, you know, pursuing creativity for a living, it's hard. It's something that like you don't know what you're getting into before you get into it, and by the time that you realize what you're getting into, I've used this analogy. It's like getting in a boat and rowing offshore to go somewhere, to go to, like if you were to go to row to the islands. And by the time you realize what you've gotten yourself into, you're so far that you're actually closer to continuing than it is going back and trying to start over.
Right.
You're like, fuck, I put myself here. Like, I'm unhireable to the rest of the world because I spent the last 15 years doing shit that's irrelevant to the real world. But I do this thing, so I got to keep going. And it's really hard. Creativity is always part of it, but it's business, it's work. And there's a lot of stuff that you have to learn as you go that, like, if I was even to explain to you, you could do like people do this, but you could have like a podcast series just talking about, obviously you can't talk shit on people from your past, but too hard. But
you can.
You can, but if you want to work again,
exactly.
It's a tiny, small world.
Yeah.
Even just working in LA, I've run into people like, oh, you knew that person I went to art school with. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
This whole world, I would never imagine that. Or everyone's connected, but like you could do a whole series on this is what it's really like to work in this world. I mean, even to the degree, having been, working and promoting shows and then touring, you guys know that even being in a band or being in music isn't all that you'd imagine it is. There's a lot of stuff that's not fun, that's hard, that's actually way harder than just having a job.
Well,
no one sees.
Yeah. What my favorite thing is when people are always like, oh man, you're so lucky. Like, you just are just so lucky. Like, nothing else that you did got you there. Just luck. You're so lucky to be able to do that.
Fell into this. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just look at people like the amount of shit I've had to eat in my life that we all have to eat in our life to do anything that you want to do. You know what I mean? Like a thing that you like.
A passion.
A passion. You know, which I'm learning is very valuable in the fucking COVID time.
Right.
Because it's been so long that I haven't had to do just my passion. That now I'm like, oh my God, please get me my fucking passion back.
Right.
But anyways, like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Like more work than people that just want to have a boss and show up, punch a clock, and be done.
Right.
You know,
it is easier at times.
I'd rather do a job for 16 hours a day for myself than work for 7 hours a day at a company.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, and it's a trip too. I mean, when you're in a band or doing art or whatever, like, say like we're on fucking tour in the middle of nowhere and the shows are falling apart and you don't have anyone to blame but you, you know what I mean? Or the weird situation you've put a whole entire group of people in, and now you have 3,000 miles left to go home. You're like, those are the times where being a creative is a shit show. You know what I mean? And you're like, dude, or you give yourself this insane deadline to finish a piece or something, and you're like, oh my God, I got 1,000 man hours into this fucking thing. What the fuck, like.
It's stressful. It's stressful because you have to present and you have to create something that it doesn't appear like it needs to be a certain way, but like you need to make a certain amount of money so you can even get back home.
Right.
On tour, or you put money, you like rented a van on your credit card and that's going to be due in 6 months or whatever. If you don't, but then you need to get more tickets sold or whatever. Like it's hard. I mean, anyone who is successful, and it's like when you see those people who like are legendary at what they do, it's like pretty much as close to being a magician as I think anyone could be. Like how do you do this?
Yeah.
Like, and those people who like continually hit, or like, maybe not every single thing they do is amazing, but like you think about people like I don't know, like David Bowie, like how, like 40 years of making music that people still think is incredible.
Yeah.
And whatever degree he toured, didn't tour as he got older and got sick or whatever, but like just to continually be that guy or that person who continually is relevant, on top, and excellent. It's hard watching someone continue to be out there and then like the art or the albums aren't as good, and then the next one's not as good, and you still like them, but you're like, I just don't.
Yeah.
care
Well,
what
I
you
mean,
think.
even David Bowie specifically created like one of his best fucking albums on his deathbed. You know what I mean? Like that last Black Star, I think is what it's called. God, what a good fucking record that was, man. It's like, dude is dying of cancer in the studio and still creating a fucking masterpiece. You know, some people just have that, man.
Made a record
You know?
about it.
Right. You know, it's like, that's fucking wild, dude.
That record is so eerie.
It
like,
is.
I remember it came out. It came out like 2 days before he died. It came out the Friday before he died. He died on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it came out and I was like, I'm going to get the vinyl. I'm going to wait to listen to it on the vinyl. I'm not going to listen to it on digital, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then we were at the Magic Castle, actually, the night he died.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, you know, we come out of the Magic Castle, he died. We're like listening to the record the whole way home. I'm like, holy shit, like this is, you know, and you listen to that. And I remember crying on the way home because, like, you know that he's on his deathbed, dying, and he's writing this record and these songs.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy, man.
You know, it's the artistic measure is amazing.
Yeah, I was of a lot of people. You know, a lot of people who that we've admired as artists or whatnot have come and gone in our lifetime. It's surprising, like you never know how someone's going is going to affect you. But I that was one of the first people that really affected me to the degree where I was like, I was really surprised at how much it did. Like I'd just be sitting out in the backyard, smoking or drinking, and like with headphones on, listening like, you know, I don't know, listening to whatever, listening to Aladdin Sane or Ziggy, and just listening to the songs and like sitting there just like looking at the sky and just actually like, even then you're like, dude, he's out there. And just thinking about this, it actually made me think about death and like my own death and just life in general in a different way, like him going. But it was weird because you're like, I don't really feel like he's dead, but he is, but he's not.
Well, it's weird because you know you live on through your. I mean, he's created a legacy. Lemmy is another guy like that. You know what I mean? Like unfucking bending, do what I want to do until I fucking die. You know what I mean? Type of motherfuckers. It's you know, Lemmy was that for me too. When he died, I was like, wow, dude. Like, you know, I assumed that guy would be Keith Richards forever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
did you ever make the pilgrimage to the Rainbow Room to find him?
What's that?
I've been to the Rainbow Room a few times since he's passed.
I was curious if either one of you had ever made it to the Rainbow Room to actually see him.
No,
I'd seen him once there when we were doing a show at the Roxy. We were like, let's go over there, and he was sitting there playing his game.
Yeah, I never went there to go see him, but
I saw Motorhead a bunch of times, but I never saw him personally.
Yeah,
but my buddy Justin from Ancestors was in a band called the motherfucking Razorbacks, and that name was given to him by Lemmy at the Rainbow Room. They walked up to him and they're like, "Hey man, we're just starting this rock and roll band. Like, we need a name. What do you think we should be calling?" He's all, "The motherfucking Razorbacks." And so they called themselves that.
Nice.
I was like, that's cool, dude.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
But Bowie, when Bowie died, it definitely was that, like, he was that like one of the first ones where I was like, wow, like this is like our like John Lennon era, you know. Definitely not as tragic and not as young.
No.
But
you know, it definitely had that feeling. You know, it had that just like that weighted feeling of like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
When you're creating art, do you have to listen to music? Does that like at all, or do you just go and create? How do you do it? Because I have to be inspired to do it by something. It's usually music to create music. You know what I mean? But do you sit down to listen to music and shit, or what have you been listening to that really gets you going like that?
I listen to music. I guess, you know, like having done graphic design and whatnot. Oh, no, you asked earlier, the graphic design I do, I've been doing apparel graphic design since like full time since about 2007.
Oh, okay.
But because of having to be creative for a living, I mean, obviously I like to set myself up in my ideal situation, but really if I had to, I could just be making stuff wherever.
Oh, okay.
Like it's no music, no internet or whatever. Someone's, no TV, just make. I can.
Yeah.
But I listen to music most of the time.
I've learned that as I gotten older, I listen to nothing.
Yeah.
I honestly like I'll do that. I don't mind driving without anything on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I used to when I was younger, like it was almost like wrong to not be playing music.
Right.
And so I was listening to music all the time, and I still obviously listen to it all the time, but I listen to it not as much, or in specific settings. Like a lot of the times now, I use my work time as a time to catch up on like the news. Like you said, you check Twitter to see what did Trump do wrong last night. Like I like will listen to the news to be like, well, how did our elected officials fuck us over today?
Yeah. Or what do I have to pay attention to throughout the day today?
Yeah.
As this crazy 24-hour cycle is coming at us.
I consider it like checking the weather. You need to know if it's snowing outside.
Yeah.
You need to be prepared because some.
Yeah. Don't be the person that just looks out the window and goes, "Oh man, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this was coming." It's like we have a 10-day weather thing for that.
Yeah. So I listen to a lot of like talk, political stuff, news analysis, I guess. But lately, let's see, as far as like, I don't have like a set, like I listen to a certain type of music when I do this or whatever. But lately I've been listening to a lot of like 60s, early 70s Miles Davis.
Oh, okay.
Psychedelic Miles is some of my favorite stuff. And because of that, like Herbie Hancock from that era. And that bleeds into, and then that bleeds into like, that band Circles Around the Sun. What was it? Neil Casal. Did you guys know Neil?
Neil?
Neil Casal?
No.
He was in Ventura.
No, I didn't know him personally. No.
He's the guitarist for CRB. Listen to like that stuff like that a lot. It's like psychedelic, instrumental, improvisational. I mean, they're recorded albums and they're written songs, but like jazz stuff that will just start one place and just go off. And so like
a nice little 15-minute just
let you go. Like, yeah. But it's still rock, so it's still rooted in a 4/4 here and there. It'll still bring you back. So it's not just like completely abstract. It's awesome music. Listen to a lot of that. Actually has started listening to, again, more like some stuff I like listening to when I'm creating, like, honestly, it's like stuff like Butthole Surfers and Ministry. It's just so, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't stop liking it. And there's some, have you noticed that as you get older, there's some stuff that you like less than you did when you were younger? And there's some stuff that you're like, I like it even more.
Yeah.
So those are two for me that I'm like, I like it even more.
My one of my favorite things to do is when I'm like sitting at the house working, getting stuff done. I like putting on a playlist of 80s and 90s music videos. And just like, you know what I mean? I just sit there and work, listen to the music. When I hear one, I was like, look, I'll be like, oh yeah. Like,
I miss that MTV shit sometimes.
Oh my
God,
like, it was so good.
It's weird on my Facebook feed, all that watch feature shit. It has only become music videos lately because I just keep, so like, I swear to God, I basically have like MTV on my Facebook like watch thing now. It's like only music video. I found out about some weird shit lately, dude. Like Oliver Tree. Have you heard that dude? Like,
Oliver Tree does. Dude,
wild shit.
My kids love Oliver Tree.
It's so weird, man. It's like, this is like a guy that has literally a bowl cut. And like wears like Jean Co jeans.
He's huge.
Like, and he's weird. Like he just went platinum, and he's made songs like tons and tons of videos, and some of the songs are really good. Like they're like rock and roll-ish acoustic, and then some of them are like straight hip hop. It's really weird, but every video is like the most creative fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And he'll do a video for $1. Like he'll make one for $1.
Desmond's. That's
it's
my
really
son,
weird,
son
dude.
Desmond's favorite. Like,
is it really? Yeah. Dude, I
Okay.
can't stop watching his videos. It's like a train wreck that you can't not watch. Like, and the songs are good, but he just went platinum off of one. You're like,
his videos remind me of who's the director of Eternal
Michel Gondry.
Michel Gondry,
right? Yeah, yeah. I guess I have that vibe to it.
Like when Michel Gondry made music videos,
right? Yeah,
it
has that vibe.
He did like the Daft Punk, like the old Daft Punk videos.
That's weird, man.
He has some, like he did like some of the original White Stripes videos, like that 8-bit one, or like the Legos one.
Yeah.
It's like that, like that's what Oliver Tree's style reminds me of, his videos.
That's weird, but it's like, I don't know if he's a young guy or an old guy, but the way he looks, you're like, I mean, he looks insane. Like he looks like an insane person.
Yeah, and he's huge. He's huge.
But millions and millions of views. My kids obviously are always showing me shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? But then it's like, it's weird, when you find someone that's like a real weird creative like that. Like, he posted a picture of himself in a tuxedo with like a thing of wine. He's like, my song just went platinum. Don't let anyone fucking tell you can't do this shit. You know what I mean? Like, because he's so weird. Like
that's awesome,
man. Yeah, it's a trip.
I've missed out on this. I'll have to learn about it.
Look at it, dude. As a visual artist, you'll really like his videos, at least. I mean, you don't like the music.
I wouldn't know about Oliver Tree if I didn't have kids.
Right.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and John are plugged into a weird.
It would have been
right
like,
now.
but the thing is, like also with me in the music world, I've told my kids, like, yo, tell me when you guys are listening. Like, tell me when you discover something. Just let me know. You know what I mean? Like, because I just want to just know what's going on, because that's like I call that my hazard pay work.
Right.
No, and it's in the same way. Like for what I do doing apparel graphics, you have to check in every now and then on the kids to see what's up.
Be like, what is the thing? You know what I mean?
What is the thing? And then you need to figure out. You're not going to understand why they like it, but maybe you can. Right. And then you're like, okay. And every now and then, so you might find something that you like.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Or not. I mean, it's all good.
Yeah.
Young people make music for young people. It'd be weird if they were what about 40-year-olds think.
Yeah, right.
We're
exactly.
40-year-olds.
And it's funny, like whenever I talk to like some of my friends, they'll be like, I just don't understand what's happening today. And I'm like, that's the fucking point. That's exactly, everything's right on schedule.
Right. You shouldn't understand
it. Schedule then, Yeah.
Yeah. And just genres are gone. Genres are fucking dead. You know what I mean? Look at guys like Post Malone or all these guys that are doing multi-genre fucking music and making platinum songs off them, and it's a little bit of hip hop, but not like bad like Kid Rock, like hip hop rock, but like it's just so fucking weird, man. Like music has gotten so weird lately. But if you allow yourself to not be this staunch, I am a fucking punker, or whatever, I mean that shit is just like, you can enjoy a lot of stuff, but a lot of us get stuck in that mentality every once in a while,
Well, it's just, and I just think it's also like, kit, the instruments that you can play inside your apartment have been around for 15 years. You know what I mean? Like, computers, you can do everything inside your apartment by yourself. You don't need, and that allows more creativity, I think. I think it's great.
Well, like GarageBand and Adobe and all this stuff, it's opened up these gates where basically all you need to do is be able to get a laptop. And you can become a graphic designer, you can make movies, you can make an album, and it's opened up a floodgate. So there's been a lot of horrible shit that's come out, but through that, there's just by the nature of the process, there's a lot of really great stuff that's come out that like would have never made it past the front desk of like a record label.
Yeah,
right. So, and you don't need them anymore. You don't need the label. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you still play music at all? I can't. Okay, forgive me. I know you played. What was the band you were in back in the day?
I was in
yeah.
I was in 2 bands. Both of them were with Deepak.
Right.
The Stereotypes.
The Stereotypes. That's what it was. Okay.
And then real briefly, Naysay.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, man. I remember because I was pretty young when you guys were around. You know, I was in the 13s maybe.
Okay.
I think when you guys, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
so. But I remember you being a musician before. You know, before I really ever knew you. You play music at all, or you ever go back and revisit that stuff?
Well, I actually have been recently. That is part of, you know, you asked me about, do I just create just to create, or do I always have purpose? That's one of the things that I've been circling back on, is because when I stopped making music, it was because really, I mean, I was 24, going on 25. I was at that point where it's like, okay, you've hung out in Ventura for this long and you've done the scene thing in the hometown. I kind of need to start doing something. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. And if things could have been the way I dreamed them or wished them to be, I would have just played music. I'm not as good naturally at music. Music comes with more challenge to me than art does. Just the actual being able to make what it is that I wish I could make.
Right.
But I just found that there was an opportunity for me to go with art that was going to get me where, and plus I could do it by myself.
Yeah.
Because I was, as a musician.
Wait. What are you saying? Relying on Deepak's not fucking a valid life choice?
No, man, that guy might as well be. We might as well be related.
Yeah.
That dude's my brother.
I know. I love it, but yeah, it's funny.
Well, just in general, I mean, you know how hard it is. I mean, even in creating, like, you have like in a band, what, 2 to 3, 4 more people that you have to make an agreement on.
Right.
If for me to make a painting, all I have to do is convince myself that it's a good idea. And so that way, like, and it was just easier for me to do that. And so I just took that opportunity. So I didn't really do anything with music other than listen to it for like 20 years. I mean, if there was a acoustic guitar in someone's apartment, I would pick it up and play it really badly. But I've started getting back into music. I've never got rid of my bass. I got rid of all my amps and stuff, but I'm looking to do that. Just play it again. Buy like a drum machine and a synth. Just I'd had ideas about what I'd want to do with music near the end of when I quit doing music. Not to do music for myself, but like I envisioned this like deep down I'm a bass player, and I'm so like, but I like that corner of like where melody and rhythm are like overlay each other, where there's like this bridge, you know, that bridge. That I like that space. I like percussion. I like rhythmic instruments, but I also like melody. So I had this envision this kind of this corner of like, you know, there's some bands, there's like the multi-instrumentalist, or like John Paul Jones is an easy example.
Right.
Sometimes he's playing bass, sometimes he's playing
yeah,
or whatever. I like the idea of that stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I have gained appreciation for that I didn't have when I was younger. There's stuff that I didn't get as much when I was younger. Like I was so into the, you know, guitar, bass, drums, singer, arrangement of a band. And I'm into a bigger idea of it being more than just that. I don't know. I'm not like making any plans. I'm gonna put out an album.
Deepocalypse is back in town, dude. You guys put the band back together.
Yeah. I see him.
Yeah,
I see him kind of regularly.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I did a tour with him, and it was wildly fun. It was so much fun.
I bet. Yeah. What direction did you guys go?
So he played guitar for Jackass for a minute for one tour,
that.
and it all completely imploded on itself, and it went like so VH1. Where are they now? Like so fast, you know what I mean? The whole tour got canceled. people were fighting. The drummer quit, you know what I mean? And me and Deke were basically left like, this is weird. It was really funny, But for those of you who don't know, Deepocalypse is one of my favorite singer-songwriters in the world, dude. Those songs, the lyrics are amazing. I love that shit, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And he's just an interesting dude,
Yeah. I've my artwork has appeared on 2 of his album covers.
Right. Yeah.
One of them was I didn't make the art for that. It wound up being there, and another time I did something for him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's back. I see him. We'll hang out. We'll meet up at Cemetery Park. Sit there.
Yeah. This bullshit.
I just look at the ocean and drink coffee.
There you go.
Nice.
Well, fuck, man. I want to say thanks for coming on. It's been really nice to fucking catch up with you again. You got anything you want to promote or throw out there? Anything you got going on? Your Instagram,
mission
statement, your manifesto.
Nothing I really have to promote right now. I'm working on some illustrations for possibly some shirts with some friends. It's not at the level. I don't know what to say about it because I don't know what it's going to be.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. If I do I'll make an announcement at some point on Instagram. Other than that, I'm just, like I said, and you brought up, I'm getting back into just doing stuff just to do it because I want to do it, and recharging my batteries because I don't know what's coming up. No one does.
I was talking to someone about this the other day. The one good thing about COVID is it's allowed us all to trim the fat.
Yeah.
Like trim the life fat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the positions you find yourself in is over and over. Like, you're like, I just don't know how to get rid of this thing or how to change this thing that I'm doing, And then COVID did that and made it easy for everyone.
Yeah.
You brought it. You said something that made me. I actually have a question. I want to ask you, John. I'm not on Instagram so much anymore, but I heard there's going to be a new vegan restaurant in Ventura.
Yeah. Fatty vegan.
Give me your. We got to go soon, but your deep spiel about what this is.
So Fatty Vegan is basically so how it all came about is I tour and I travel. I've lived the vegetarian vegan lifestyle for almost 20 years. One of my favorite things to do on the road is finding good vegan food. And one of my biggest disappointments about coming home was there's no fucking good vegan food, even though it's in Ventura, and you literally put vegan in anything, and the closest thing is Thousand Oaks and Santa Barbara. So I've always wanted to. We've always wanted to do this, calling it Fatty Vegan. We're gonna have beer, vegan food, and we have leopard print floors and fucking show posters on the wall.
Yep. And more importantly, it's vegan junk food. You know what I mean?
Vegan junk food, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have
not this Nature's Grill bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, good gut bomb. Good gut bomb food.
Yeah.
Set in a cool setting that we feel is cool and want to hang out in. And trying to just I want it to be more than just a vegan restaurant, obviously, because that's just how I think.
Yeah.
I would love for it to be a community spot, I envision people getting together there. And
well, if you're selling alcohol, then people will stick around and drink.
Yeah.
So then there you go. People will hang out.
Yeah.
So the impression I got it's in Midtown or going to be in Midtown?
It's where beer brats used to be.
That's what Kurt and I were talking about.
It's old beer brats. Basically, like I said, me and my wife for the last 2-3 years, we've had this idea. We've had the name. We even had the Facebook page. We've had that Instagram for over 2 years. Just I'm like, let's just get it and let's just hold on to it in case we ever do something with it.
Right.
And we basically got given the opportunity of this restaurant, and it was it's COVID, it's a horrible time ideally to open up anything, and we got an offer we could not refuse.
Okay.
And it was just all right, cool. We're not gonna, it's not gonna sink us if it fails. and this is our chance. You know, I'm a person that like you can always find reasons to not go through open doors.
Right.
And I believe that open doors happen. You're supposed to just go through it. You know what I mean? Like you can always find a reason to not do something. You can always find a reason to like, oh, well, you know, it's just not the right time. You know what I mean? Like, no, this is the perfect. It's the perfect storm. Let's go.
You gotta take a chance.
Gotta take a chance. So, hoping to have some good vegan junk food. Fucking party.
January 2020.
21.
2021. Oh yeah. What year are we in? I forgot.
Well, we'll go for sure, and I think it'll do well.
Yeah, I'm hoping. We've had a really good response.
We go to Sea Ranger and eat, and I gotta say that like for all the time we've been going there, standing in line, vegan. I'd say as far as people that are vegan in Ventura County, I'd say over half of the people come from the punk world in it, either are or were, and so I think it's just it's a perfect fit. And
yeah,
my parents live in that neighborhood. I love Midtown.
Cool.
And it would be cool to see some long-term lifelong Ventura people stake out some area in Ventura. I'm not opposed to things changing. There's some things you don't want everything to completely change. You want something that it's connected to the past to continue on.
Right.
And I'd say the more people that can open up businesses and take a stronghold of like Midtown.
Yeah.
Or even Ventura in general, you know what I mean? Ventura in general. You know?
Yeah. Or anywhere in Ventura, downtown and stuff is it's expensive.
It's expensive downtown. Yeah. Midtown or the Avenue. You know, but I like our spot. We hope it's gonna be cool. I mean, everything that we're putting up is all just stuff that I have. You know what I mean? I can literally dress up 7 different restaurants with the amount of punk memorabilia that I have.
Well, have you ever gone to the brewery in San Diego, the Fall?
I haven't. No.
It's in North Park.
Okay.
I don't remember what street it's on. But it's very similar. Like they are like lifers in the San Diego punk scene, and you go in there and it could easily be like a poster flyer museum for San Diego, and it's decked out in that way. And
that's the
vibe.
That's kind of the vibe we're going for. We're pretty stoked though. We're stoked. We're hoping that people enjoy it. We hope it's a positive thing in Ventura. You know, that's all we want.
Yeah. I think it will be. I imagine it being that way.
Yeah. People are stoked. So it's fun to have something to be creative with again.
Yeah.
You know, my entire creative outlet was destroyed and taken away. So it's nice to like build something up and be like, oh, cool. You know?
Has Numbskull, do you guys think that like next year is a no?
I mean, I would say so. If anything would happen, it'd be the latter part of the year.
Okay.
You know, I think, but also everything changes so drastically with this thing, literally week by week.
Right.
So I don't think that we would know about next year until April. And literally in April, they could be like, everything's opening back up in June.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's been enough time, because what I think is going to happen is it's not about beating COVID. It's about that there's been enough time and enough resources for ample amount of people that are in the red as far as COVID is concerned, get the vaccine or have access to the vaccine.
Right.
Because you know, this is always going to be a management thing for the rest of our lives.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
COVID's never going away, so So I could see in April them going like, oh, we're opening back up in 2 months.
Yeah, as long as the vaccines get out and you reach some sort of herd immunity kind of thing. You know what I mean?
And I don't think that the speed of opening back up has anything to do with people's safety in mind. It has everything to do with people are over it. There's enough people that just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And want to get back to normal life. And people's mentality changes over time. You know what I mean? In that time, it'll be 4 months away. It'll be 4 months from now of people still not having any income. People still struggling. It's just 4 months further. And in 4 more months, people could be like, you know what? I was against opening up before, but fuck this. I got to live, you know?
Yeah.
It's just the natural progression of the human psyche.
Yeah.
I don't blame anyone negatively for it. It's just
no. And then there's some people, cautious people, like things can't open up until your average person isn't afraid. And for some people, for a lot of people, there's a legitimate reason to still be afraid.
Yeah.
And once people aren't afraid, and they're not like kamikaze, like I don't care anymore, but legitimately are like, I feel okay. I can go to this thing now.
Yeah.
I'm not scared about standing 2 feet away from someone I don't know.
Exactly.
It'll happen at some point. I mean,
it will.
It will. I'm okay with it. It is what it is. It's going to be this. We're going to look back at it in 20 years and go, man, remember that 2.5 years we had off?
That was fucking weird. Yeah.
Remember, you know what I mean? Like, and life will go on. Yep. We'll make it. Everyone, we're too persuaded. And we're too strong. Humans are too strong to,
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Oh, it's gonna. We'll go on. We'll go on. I'll say though that live shows and music is the one thing I think everyone knows. It's like that's the thing that is the most painful.
Yeah.
And because that is also too. That's where you see your friends. That's where that's why you know your friends.
That's how we communicate and stay in touch. You know what I mean?
I mean, since being an early teenager, that's pretty much been everything in my life's revolved around. Even as an artist, I've always I've never gone too far from that.
Right.
So for this to be gone, it's just been really, that's been the most depressing thing. Yeah. Like if someone told me I had to stay home, but I could go to shows, I could do this every day, all day for the rest of my life.
yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah.
But just not being able to go to shows or whatever, and then you think about like the last shows you went to, or I'm sure everyone did. I had probably about like 5 or so shows that I had tickets for. Mm-hmm. I got a refund on a few. Some of them, the bands are too small, and I know I had to give it up. And there's like one or two people that are like, no, we're still going to do it. And they haven't given up yet.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. There's the postpone till late 2021. It's like, just give the refund and resell the ticket. Come on.
Totally. Yeah, they really should. Most people are getting to that point, but there's a few people that are holding out.
Yeah,
for sure, dude.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think when it's like that, then basically like whoever is the ticketing company is just taking the money and flipping it in the stock market,
right?
As much as they can until
fractional lending.
Yeah,
yeah. Anyway, it's beautiful, man.
Well, thanks, Dale, for coming on, man. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Shit, everyone stay safe out there, right?
That's right, man. Have a good New Year. You're our 40th episode, our last show of the year. So thank you for coming on. For everyone that watches and has supported, 40 episodes ago, me and John were just talking about getting this going again, and I'm stoked at how it's turned out, man. And we've gotten pretty good. A good organic build on it. So check out the Big Cartel for the masks if you want to buy those. John's got it on his face. And then our Patreon, we're developing a lot more. So $1 a month. 2021 is going to be a lot more content on there and stuff like that. So and then the following week, we're doing a best of 2020 episode. So it's a super cut of all of our best people.
I'm sure I'm being very ridiculous on a lot of that, aren't I?
Yeah, we're all being a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, but thanks, thanks, buddy. It was awesome.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for having me. And stay safe. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, or whatever it is you guys are celebrating.
That's right.
Thanks, Dale.
All right, buddy.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it. Bye.
Take care.